agenda is approval of the minutes. Number 2, consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for November 18th, 2025. If there are no comments or questions, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Onstad. Do we have a second by Member Luker?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 3, consider approving the minutes of the work session of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for November 18th, 2025. If there are no questions or changes, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Next is schedule public hearing. Number 4 is to consider Resolution 2512-125, a resolution certifying the 2025 tax levy collectible in 2026. Mr. Lindland, if you?
Yes, I will start. Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Tonight we will be giving a presentation from Ms. Julie McManus. She's here from Abdo Financial to give you that final levy summation, but this is really a culmination of the work that the council has been doing through work sessions since June of this year. So this will be our final levy as the council adopted a preliminary levy in the second meeting in September. With this tonight, this will be the city's final levy for 2026. And with that, I'll let you take over.
Great, thank you, Mayor and members of the council. As Grant's pulling up the presentation here, like Rob mentioned, we are here to review the final budget and tax levy for the 2026 year. We'll cover a few key items. We'll look at the tax levy and then review the general fund revenues and expenditures. Some of the key items in this budget include a small increase in the local government aid. That's an increase of $189. The total local government aid that Wyoming will receive in 2026 is $388,427. The total 2026 levy is proposed to increase $271,158, or 4.68% from the 2025 levy. All employees are scheduled to receive a cost of living adjustment and any applicable step increases. In this budget, we also have a part-time firefighter and a part-time CSO position added. Looking at the tax levy, the total tax levy, as we mentioned, is increasing that $271,158. That will result in a total tax levy of $6,066,494, or that 4.68% increase over 2025. That total levy does break down into several different categories. The general levy is scheduled to increase 6.1%, or $269,940. We're proposing no increase in the EDA levy. The capital levies in total are increasing $154,600, or 24.52%. And then the debt levies, these levies are required based on bonds that the city has previously issued. The city is required to levy 105% of the following year's principal and interest payments. So these are required. This is projected to decrease $153,382, or 21.09%. And I want to point out that the 2015A GO bonds are falling off of the required levy in 2026. And conversely, in the 2024A GO bonds, this will be the second year of that levy, so it's a full year of the levy. So we're seeing a little bit larger of an increase there. Looking at the tax capacity for the city, the tax capacity did increase $653,757, or 4.65%. Then the levy and tax capacity get us to the city's tax rate. We are seeing a very small increase in that tax rate of 0.01% to get a proposed 2026 tax rate of 41.21%. This next chart shows a comparison of the city's levy increase compared to some of the neighboring communities. Wyoming is the second lowest on this list. We just thought that this would be nice to display. This next chart shows a summary of the tax levy over the last 5 years. You can see how the levy is changed between the different categories, the general levy, the various capital levies, and the debt service levy. This next slide shows the history for the last 5 years of the city's tax rate. So in 2022, the tax rate was at 44.96% and decreased to 39.37 and 37.89% in 23 and 24. It has increased slightly for 25 and 26, but we are seeing, again, that tax rate is fairly steady between 2025 and 2026. This chart shows potential tax impacts to various properties throughout the city. This chart does show no market value increase for properties, so it's just looking at that true tax rate impact of properties. This next chart does factor in an average market value increase for properties. We're using a factor of 3.21%. I want to note that this is an average and each property may experience different market value increases, maybe more, maybe less than that 3.21%. Next, we'll look at the general fund revenues and expenditures. The total general fund revenue budget is increasing $433,140 over 2025. As mentioned, the majority of that is in the property tax line item. That's increasing that $269,940. A couple of the other major changes are in licenses and permits. This revenue was adjusted after looking at previous year actuals. The intergovernmental revenue line is also increasing, and that's due to fire and police state aid. Charges for services is increasing, and that's due to the rent for the new building. And then we did increase interest earnings just based on market values and interest rates that we've been seeing. Moving on to the expenditures, we do have a balanced budget, so the increase in expenditures is the same as the increase in revenues, so that increases the $433,140. Some of the major changes in this budget are in the city clerk office area. The major items to note here are cost of living and step increases in the wages and benefits, IT services, and utilities and refuse for the new building. The next line item is elections. 2026 will be an election year, so we've got additional costs there. In the financial administration line, we have increases for cost of living adjustments and any step increases, and then contracted services with Abdo Financial Solutions and PMA fees. In the police department line item, these increases are also due to cost of living and step increases for employees, as well as the addition of that part-time CSO position, and increases in contracted services and general liability insurance. The next line is the fire department. Again, we've got increases in wages and benefits and the addition of that part-time firefighter position. We're seeing increases in contracted services for relocating hose testing and Lexipol, and then wellness benefits. The last item is the highways, streets, and roads. We're seeing these increases as a result of the wages and benefits for cost of living and step increases, equipment rentals and vehicle maintenance, and then contracted services are increasing due to the rental of a trailer. This chart shows kind of the distribution in graphical form of the expenditures by department, noting that the police department is 40% of the general fund's budget, highway, streets, and roads is 19.45%, and city clerk is 13.13%. Those make up the majority of the city's budget. And with that, we'll take any questions.
All right, I'm gonna start with a few questions. I think it's important, this is probably one of the hardest, two things in our city are really hard to understand at this time of year, right? This is probably one of the biggest ones that needs more clarification, especially for our residents that might be watching or here in the audience. So one of the things is when we get our statement, we just got the statement from the county. It didn't have the new total that we're gonna go with, right?
Yes.
So even I opened mine and I went, wait a minute, right? What's going on? But one of the things that we don't control, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the evaluations of homes, whether that goes up or down.
Correct. The county assessor's office does handle those property valuations. They evaluate various properties throughout the city kind of on a rotating basis. And they've got some metrics that they use to evaluate those market values. They do look at, you know, sales within the area comparing to other like homes and just other market values.
Okay. And then we don't have any control over the school levies that come through because there was two of them. There's two school levies on there. And then there was one that I have no idea what it was. And I think, Mr. Linwood, we kind of talked about that. We thought maybe it was the watershed district in there. So again, we have no control over that, correct? We only can control the city budget.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, I've been on council for a long time, mayor the last 9 years, we kind of changed how we did things when this council was sworn in. And that was budgeting close to like a balanced budget, right? We didn't add anything extra. We pretty much will budget close to what we need, right? We're not doing that overage thing and then putting it somewhere else, right?
Correct.
I think that's always pretty important to know that we have that balanced budget, and that was something we all agreed upon 9 years ago, is to make sure we have that balanced budget. So, okay, and then I think those were my big things on that. So not really questions, but statements just to kind of clarify. All right, so questions from council. We'll start with Member Yeager.
No questions really, but I tell you, I'm not comfortable with even a 4.8%, a 4.68% increase, especially since we have a $12 million building project moving forward. That once those taxes hit, we should keep our levy down as low as possible, if not flat, so that you all can afford to live here after the building bonds come through. And I mean, I'm saying this as a senior, where I just looked at my Social Security statement, find my 2.8%, my big 2.8% increase is going to be eaten up in my Medicare premium increases. So I don't want to see people hurting because of high taxes.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Member Schilling.
I actually have no questions. I'm very happy we got it down from what we started with a lot of work. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Member Onsted.
No questions, no statements.
Okay, and Member Luker.
No question statement. I concur with Member Schilling. I'm really glad to see that it's down. This is not originally what we started with. And so I really appreciate the time and effort from city staff and the collaboration with council to work on this. I mean, truly, I don't think anybody wants any community member like hurting financially. However, if we're going to provide services as a city, there's really nowhere else to cut that wouldn't be harming the community. So, kudos to city staff and thank you.
So, we don't need a public hearing on that? We do.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll need to,
Okay, so we need a motion to go into the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a first, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, we're in the public hearing. Would anybody like to come up and state any questions or comments regarding our proposed tax levy in 2025? Please come on up, state your name.
Lauren Osterbauer, 28180 Forest Boulevard. And I just wanted to echo what Member Yeager said, that I'm not comfortable with almost 5% either. You know, the 2.8% we get from Medicare or Social Security, that's what the government says is the normal increase in cost of living. How come you folks can't keep it down to 2.8%? That's my comment.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Please state your name.
My name is Stephen Wojcicki. I guess I have a question, and I just maybe don't understand the math, but I get the 4.68% levy, and I appreciate you guys working to get it down to that. I get the mechanics of that. But my property valuation went up 7%, and my tax from Wyoming City is going up 12%. So I don't understand that math. Does anybody else understand that math? How is it if my property valuation went up 7% and the levy for the city is going up 4.68%? My levy from the city is going up 12.
Did you?
I would think it'd be somewhat less than that. And maybe I'm just not understanding the math.
I bet you this is the one you just got from the
Yep.
county. Yeah, so if you flip that over,
Yep.
and it says that we had not passed it yet,
Okay.
our levy, and so they just automatically put it at that 8 whatever
Oh,
percent.
still at the 8.42.
Correct.
Yes.
I did the
Okay,
same
that math
thing.
makes more sense.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where that, correct me if I'm wrong.
no, it's based on your preliminary levy and
Yeah.
then correct, and based on that valuation, there's some metrics that they use to try to do that based on the tax rate that they'll do that, but that's
Okay.
essentially it's based on that preliminary levy when you get that, so that 8.42% was our preliminary levy, but now we're down to that 4.68%.
Okay, all right, thank you. One other comment. I believe you guys are correct on the special taxing district. It is, it's the watershed.
It's the watershed, that's, it used
It's
to
the
say
watershed.
that, but it doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I heard that at a
Appreciate
watershed meeting, that it's the watershed.
Okay.
That's why I say that.
it. Perfect.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, anyone else? Seeing none, we need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a motion by member Luker, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now back into regular session. Number 4, to consider resolution 25-12-125, a resolution certifying the 2025 tax levy collectible in 2026. I'll make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Schilling, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
So approved. Number 5, to consider resolution 25-12-126, a resolution approving the proposed 2026 expenditures budget by department. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
So approved. Consent agenda number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Does anybody wish to pull an item on the consent agenda? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Acknowledgement of receipts of reports of officer boards, commissions, and department heads. Number 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Does anybody wish to pull an item from the reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to communications. Number 18, monthly performance measures, fire Q3 2025. Chief Bauer, is that your presentation?
Yes, that's me, please. Thank you again. This is our third quarter performance measures. Just to provide a quick update on those, I'll run through them briefly just so you have an idea of where we're at. And again, these were performance measures that were established at the beginning of the year just to really have a better understanding of where we're at within the paid on-call fire department, to better understand how we're performing and where we may need to make improvements or where that we're excelling. Call volume has remained relatively consistent. It is higher this year again, but overall throughout the year it's been relatively consistent. As far as response times, again, we're limited in calculating these response times due to some limitations within dispatch. They're not actually tracking every arrival of equipment or apparatus on scene. It's only the first arriving. And sometimes that may be a chief, that might be one of the deputy chiefs, and that is, we're hoping to at some point be able to track the first arriving vehicle on scene that's able to intervene. So actual engine, ladder, one of those type of vehicles, and we just aren't able to do that yet. The way the metrics are set right now, we're still having good response time. Excellent, we're meeting all of our goals with that. As far as responder numbers, medicals, we're still doing really well with those. Alarms, we're doing really well. Structural, we still have that set at 10 responders. So structural fires and the other type of fires, we're at about 32% for the year. 10 is a high bar considering we are maintaining about 21, 22 firefighters. That's, to get 10 firefighters on scene, that's kind of the benchmark, but we understand that that's not always we're not able to meet that with our staffing numbers as we sit today. Incident commander on scene, overall doing really well with having one of the commander level or command level person on scene. Medical is the only one that we're about 81%, but overall we're looking well beyond in the 88 to 99, 100% range there. As far as mutual aid goes, we are providing much more mutual aid, about twice as much mutual aid to other cities as we're receiving. That obviously is dependent on call volume in other communities as well, with Forest Lake being a much larger city. We're providing mutual aid to some of these other communities as well. Public education, community outreach, summer is a much better time to do that rather than winter. But we do have several, you'll see those numbers continue as we do the fourth quarter. But we've been having great outreach, good interaction with communities. Total of 7 fires for the year with loss. This is just there's no benchmark there. Obviously it'd be great if we had 0, but that's not realistic. This is just so you have an idea of what we're experiencing for the year. As of quarter 3, we only had 2 applications. As you'll see or saw in consent, quarter 4 you'll see a significant increase, again, due to some recruitment efforts, and we'll talk about that next quarter again. And then our staffing remained consistent through quarter 3 with 22, and again, quarter 4, just to give you a heads up, we'll see more. Vehicle age or equipment age, again, ladder truck is due for, it's at its end of life for initial service. We'll discuss that at a later date. Engine 1 is at that 80% use with replacements looking at 2030. Other, chief vehicles are still at about 60%, otherwise we're in good shape. Our fire inspections are still at 0. And again, the plan is that with his part-time firefighter position that was included in the budget for 2026, that will be one of the tasks that they will be performing. So we'll see those numbers increase in 2026. Quick, super high level overview, but I just wanted to give you an update where we're at. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
All right, questions from council. We'll start with Member Ronstadt.
No questions.
Member Luker?
No questions.
Member Yeager?
On your chart for equipment age, in your footnotes, you have footnotes about Chief 1 and Chief 2 vehicle, about what would happen if you purchase them new. Is that something you're looking at?
So these both were police vehicles initially. They were transitioned to fire. The understanding of having a chief vehicle or that type of vehicle would be 10 years. However, because these were driven as police vehicles, had a higher level of mileage initially, we would be looking at replacing them earlier than 10 years because they were used as police vehicles initially. If a vehicle was purchased new, we could obviously get 10 years out of it easily. That would be no question there.
So are you going to explore purchasing new to get the 10 years out of?
That would be, we have it in CIP scheduled for 27 and 28.
New vehicles?
Yes, correct,
Okay.
yes. Obviously, that would be up to council when those years come up, but that is just, again, we're trying to plan ahead and look forward.
Okay. Anything else?
In 27 and 28?
That's where they're tentatively on the schedule,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yes.
All right, Member Schilling?
No questions.
All right, my only comment is, we've done a really great job in planning, and that's what we do, right? So we know that it's coming forward.
And that's
So-
the goal of this
it's
as
the
well,
goal.
to
Yep.
better understand that.
Yep,
So, thank
nobody
you.
likes chaos or surprises.
That's right.
Yeah, so, all right. Thank you very much for that, and the fire department is doing really a great job, and the recruitment, we'll be talking about that as well, so, good job. All right, number 19, 2026 Street Project Neighborhood Meeting. Mr. Erickson?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. We have a public informational meeting for our 2026 street improvement project that is scheduled for next Wednesday evening here at City Hall. It is a large neighborhood, densely populated, and so we expect likely a full house here. And so we'll have a number of us, we'll have a few from WSB along with other city staff here to hopefully spend some time with residents during the meeting, and then after the meeting follow-up, we'll have some boards and some layouts with the ability to take notes and answer questions, and really kind of help us inform and prepare that feasibility study to make sure it's inclusive of concerns that residents might raise at that meeting.
Okay, I'm glad we're doing this because there's been a lot of comments on Facebook, social media.
Oh, is that
So
right?
this will
Okay.
be really a great way to be able to just explain and talk about what we're really gonna do instead of the rumors.
Yeah, so
So-
it is a public improvement process, and so we always explain the details of how that process works and how we arrive at projects and all of those things. So I think it will be certainly helpful for the reasons you stated.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. Questions from council, we'll start with Member Yeager,
No questions?
Member Onstad,
No questions.
Member Luger,
No questions.
Member Schilling.
I'll be there. This is my neighborhood.
All right, and I have none either, so thank you very much for that. New business, number 20, to consider a purchase agreement for a Ford F-250 from 10 Ford Commercial Sales. I'm not sure who's taking this one.
That's me.
Okay,
You did a much better job pronouncing that dealership name than I was going to. So I was just going to go with a Ford dealer out of St. Cloud. So again, council members of, and Mayor Iverson, looking to enter into a purchase agreement for a 2026 Ford F-250 Crew Cab XL. This is the base model to serve as a fire utility vehicle, primarily for the part-time firefighter position and also to provide additional support needs within the fire department. The goal of this will be supplementing fire operations and reduce reliance on the grass truck and rescue truck. Those are both expensive vehicles that we'd like to reduce usage of if possible for this part-time position as we're doing inspections and those other type of duties during the day. We would rather that they're not driving those high-dollar vehicles around just to do these type of duties. Essentially, this will allow for staff transport, equipment movement, training deployments, fire prevention activities, and other operational purposes while decreasing use of our specialized fleet. Under the state contract, the pricing is $49,409. They require a purchase agreement in place to get in the manufacturing order queue. Again, this does not obligate the city to complete the purchase. Should any budgetary changes, as of 2 weeks, this doesn't even matter anymore, but if the things would have changed tonight, we could have backed out of signing it. But the agreement allows us to get our place in the production schedule while maintaining the ability to ultimately withdraw if necessary. This was included in the proposed 2026 CIP and aligns with our overall strategies. So looking to enter in the purchase agreement of this 2026 Ford F-250 Crew Cab XL in the amount of $49,409. Understanding that this does not include upfitting, that upfitting cost was included in the CIP as well. So if you see a discrepancy there, that's what that difference is. Any questions?
Chief Bauer, I'm going to start with a question. I think that in the past, we've had a hard time. We'll bring this forward, we'll go ahead and approve it, but then the truck's not ready or something's not ready. So we've gone into this type of model because of that, correct?
Correct,
Okay.
yes.
We don't need to be without a truck or a vehicle.
Yeah, over the years, just the purchasing plan has changed and the ability to purchase vehicles, and we're even a little bit late this year, but they're still able to fulfill these orders. So historically, what they're asking is that we sign the purchase agreement prior to the budget being approved, and then they will get us in the queue, and ultimately we make the purchase, and I bring that back to council for ultimate approval once we have a VIN and we know when it's going to get delivered.
Perfect. We'll start with questions from Member Schilling.
I have no questions.
Member Yeager?
No questions, but if this is primarily for the part-time firefighter position, I'm not real comfortable ordering a vehicle for a position we haven't created yet.
The position was included in the proposed budget, and that was approved by
It
council
was in the
tonight.
proposed budget, but I haven't seen a job description, or I haven't approved hiring the person or anything, so.
Okay, sure. Do you have a question?
No, that was
Okay.
it.
Member Luker?
I have no questions.
Okay, and Member Onstad?
No questions.
All right, then we need a motion to approve a purchase agreement for the Ford F-250 from 1040 Ford Commercial Sales. Do we have that?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
So approved. Number 21, to consider a purchase agreement for two 2026 Dodge Durangos from Dodge of Burnsville. Chief Bauer?
Yes, that's also me, a lot of me tonight. Asking for approval to enter the purchase agreement, same story, from Dodge of Burnsville. These will be on the state contract as well. These will be intended to serve as marked patrol squads for the police department. Using the state contract, it is in alignment, it's the best pricing we can get. There's a total cost of $39,845 per vehicle, for a total of $79,690 for both vehicles. This does not include any outfitting costs again, so graphics, lighting, radios, computers, and those type of things, those would be brought forward separately once pricing is confirmed through Guardian Fleet Safety in 2026, although we do plan for that in the CIP that was proposed earlier and approved. These vehicles we place Squad 2202. Current mileage on that one is 70,000, just over 70,000. 2207 is current mileage is just over 53,000. Although we're looking at replacing them where they remain mechanically reliable at this point. As what we've done in the past, we're looking at, depending on when what the citywide needs are, when they actually arrive. And we really don't know when they arrive. They could end up being delivered in next September. We really don't know. They could be repurposed to replace other city assets, and we can make recommendations at a later date once the new squads are placed into service. Essentially, we've done that with other vehicles in the past where we cycle one out and replace it with one of the retired squads. This purchase was included in the CIP for 2026 and is in alignment with our fleet replacement strategy. Ordering them now allows us to enter into that manufacturing queue. So ultimately looking for authorization to purchase or enter a purchase agreement of these two 2026 Durango Pursuit all-wheel drive V6 marked patrol vehicles at a cost of $39,845 per vehicle.
Great. Chief Bauer, I know you talked about the Minnesota State contract pricing.
Sure.
There's always questions within our residents, like, can't you get it cheaper by going to whatever? So how is it cheaper by going to the Minnesota State contract pricing?
Sure. So this is a contract that's statewide across the state, and it's generally where if municipalities or government agencies are able to plan ahead, they can purchase these vehicles on the state contract. If you're purchasing off a lot, generally you're negotiating like you and I would any other day when we were negotiating for the price of a vehicle. This is significantly lower than sticker. It's lower than what you would get if you were going to purchase them off a lot later, and it allows us to remain consistent from year to year. We order the exact same options, the same keys. I shouldn't say that. The same. We order everything.
Okay.
Everything is consistent, so we don't have concerns about now this equipment doesn't fit in this one because things were ordered off a lot. In the past, we've had to get creative, but this is the best case scenario. We can order these vehicles at this price.
Okay, thank you. I know when I first got on council, I was not in favor of this whole program until I did a ride-along. And I saw firsthand how hard that these cars get driven. I mean, if you're at 0 and you go to, the speed limit, I mean, it's more than that, but, I mean, it is like you are going, and that makes it really hard on the engines and stuff, correct? That's why
And
they.
the idle time,
Yeah.
and that's where we really get a lot of use is, they have to run because of all the equipment. We can't just turn off these vehicles, so they will run for 12 hours straight a lot of times. With a fancy new garage, maybe someday we won't need to do that. But yes, in general, they do need to be running throughout the shift because of the computers, all the equipment, the squad cameras that are in there now, they do need to run, so they do get a lot of miles on them.
So it's not like my car.
Correct.
Right.
Well, I
Well, I
don't
can
know.
get 300,000.
That's debatable. No.
All right, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Questions from council? We'll start with Member Luker.
I have no questions.
Okay, and Member Yeager?
Well, I'm not along with this, I'm also not terribly comfortable now swapping out cars below 100,000 miles. I mean, I was kind of, I always question why I had 100,000 miles when the cars have been lasting longer as the years have gone by. But now when we're swapping out cars at 70,000 miles and 53,000 miles, I have people, when I go door knocking, telling me they see the city's beautiful, brand-new cars while they're driving a beater, and they're not happy. And I really think we need to be a little more sensitive with that.
Okay.
Chief Bauer, didn't you say that we weren't getting these right away, that there's already going to be miles added onto these
There will
vehicles?
be,
'Cause-
yes.
yeah, so, okay. Member Schilling?
So two things, you touched on two of them, Chief, and to touch on Linda's point as well, as I already know the miles will be up there by the time we do get these. As a person that oversees our fleet vehicles as well, the state contract is the cheapest because I've tried to go elsewhere for the same reasons. One of the big things that people forget, as you touched on, is runtime. These vehicles have 70,000, but they got about 180,000 miles worth of runtime on them because that engine never stops. It's just constantly running. So I just kind of wanted to add to that. The mileage is a little less telling for the wear and tear that's on the vehicle versus the actual runtime of the engine. So that's all I had.
I would agree with, like I said, when I first started, now I totally understand it once you do it right along. So, all right, so we need a motion to purchase, to consider a purchase agreement for 2 2026 Dodge Durangos from Dodge of Burnsville. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Member Schilling. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Onstad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
So approved. Number 22, to consider a city council work session on December 16th, 2025. Mr. Linwood?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and members of council. As you heard earlier tonight from Mr. Perry, we've had numerous residents from the Liberty Ponds development request that the city council reevaluate potential funding options that involve city-related participation to their community septic system. They'd also like an opportunity just to address the council about some of their concerns and ask the city for potential assistance with this. As stated earlier, we have gone through and met with the HOA previously in 2024 with staff and the council, and then in 2025. But they are requesting this, so we would like to bring that to council to set a work session on December 16th at 5:30 p.m. To have some of those discussions with members of the Liberty Ponds HOA.
Okay, has everybody checked their schedules for 5:30? Just before our regular?
Yes.
Okay. Does council have any questions?
No, none.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve the city council work session on December 16th, 2025. I'll make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Luker. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. All right, council reports. Let's start with Member Onstad.
I have no reports. Thanks for everyone coming out.
Okay. Let's go Member Luker.
I have no report either.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the first, no.
Thanks for coming out, though.
Member Yeager.
Well, as usual, no report, but thank you all for coming, and thank you everybody for watching.
Member Schilling.
I have no report. Thank you all for coming and anybody watching on TV.
All right, the only thing I have to say, we have our tree lighting coming up on Saturday. It's gonna be a toasty 25 degrees. Oh, come on. It'll be nice and warm.
Hot
25
cocoa.
degrees around the fire. It's gonna be great. We also have Santa driving around the neighborhoods, so that's one of my favorite things. So you can bring toys out to meet Santa, and our fire department will grab those and do. Is it toys for which Santa Anonymous?
Yeah, I believe it's Anonymous Santa, so.
Yeah, perfect. So we're looking forward to that. Stuff the Squad, Chief Bauer. I donated a few little items, so
Yeah, it was a little less than last year, but the weather was horrible. So we did relocate inside. We were very appreciative of Bruce's for allowing us to take up residence inside the building for the evening. But it was still a great event. The food shelf, Family Pathways, was very appreciative today when I dropped everything off. So
perfect.
much,
And
much appreciation.
one last event you have coming up, and I just want to promote this to no end, is Coffee with a Cup, and that's in February?
January.
January.
Yep.
Okay.
It'll be, I don't remember off the top of my head.
Okay,
It's
that's fine,
January.
but
It'll be coming
at
up.
McDonald's
Yes,
in
correct.
Wyoming, so.
Can
perfect.
I ask a question?
Yeah.
If folks, because of the horrible weather, on Stuff the Squad night, want to still donate to Family Pathways, can we just drop off there?
You can, yes. There's a location in North Branch, and we actually donated at Forest Lake this time because they were open today. So either of those locations, they have business hours on their website, and they'll accept, yes.
Thank you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, when Santa goes around, I think there's some food that gets collected as well typically, right? Yep. Yeah, perfect, okay. All right.
If it's not 20 below.
It's gonna be nice and warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, so with that, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, we have a first from member Schilling, a second from member Luger, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.